Hello, Tar Heel Nation. Welcome back to another episode of UNC Hoops Talk podcast. I'm your host, Dan DeWitt, coming here shortly after a Tar Heel victory. Tar Heels win tonight as I'm recording this against UNC Asheville, 72-53 in the Dean Dome. But more importantly than that, we gotta talk about obviously the state of the program again as an overall thing. We're gonna hit on obviously the Purdue game, the Tennessee game over the weekends. Not pretty in the least, especially that Tennessee game. Purdue, we'll talk about it. We'll jump into that. But thanks for jumping in. Thanks for watching. If you're doing it live, either through Twitter or through YouTube, appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Just UNC Hoops Talk podcast, and you'll find it. But yeah, thanks for joining in. I hope you guys share this with your friends, family as we meet for Thanksgiving here coming up in a couple of days. Share it with other Tar Heel friends and family um, that you'll see. And let's unite Tar Heel Nation. We need it at this point more than ever. So yeah, we have Sinister Tar Heel here. Says, "Hey Dan, what's going on? Thanks for joining. Ask any questions there. We'll kind of get to it, but um, we're gonna kind of go through these games here we had and try to do it not too laborly, but obviously quickly as well. Um, and trying to do this post game thing. I'd love to do post games after every game, but kind of see how it goes. Let me know how you like it. If you would join in live, either to watch and comment as we do it again on Twitter or YouTube, or even in the future, I'd love to bring you guys in here to kind of talk with me if you'd be willing to get on camera and talk as well. Would love um, to bring you guys in as well. So if you're listening to this, the audio of it later on as a podcast, I hope you're subscribed wherever you're listening so that you get a notification whenever a new one gets into the feed there. And again, thank you guys for listening as well. But I would love for you guys to join the live stuff as well. Make sure you're connected with me on Twitter at All Tar Heel Dan. And yeah, again, just uniting Tar Heel Nation. But enough of that. Let's jump into these games. So quickly overview again. This is stuff you guys kind of know, but we took on Purdue, number 6 Purdue. They jumped up to number 3, I believe, yesterday in the polls. But they took us down 93-84. Actually, a really good game. I thought we were in it. We got the lead, late in the second half, middle of the second half or so. We climbed back and even got the lead. And I mean, our guys were just in it, focused. Baycott was in foul trouble, and so he only had 2 points and never really got going, and that obviously hurt us. Garcia 26 points, Caleb Love 18, RJ 18. Didn't shoot the ball well from the free throw line, or no, we actually shot the ball really well from the free throw line, 10 for 12. I don't think this is the game I believe we didn't shoot any in the first half. Shot the ball pretty well from the 3-point line in the first half. Cooled off a little bit in the second half, but overall pretty good there. Again, we were just locked in here. We were boxing out the big guy, Edie, who's like 7'4". He only ended up with 9 points and 3 rebounds for a guy at 7'4". I mean, I'd say that's pretty darn good. And he averages like 17 points in 19 minutes. So we did well there, but we let the shooter, little 55 Stefanovic, go off early. Ivy, his athleticism really took control in the second half. And then Travion Williams, the other big guy they have coming in, kind of their All-American big guy they have coming off the bench now, kind of ate us up too after Baycott had gotten into foul trouble. So, but we were locked in. That was a good game, and everybody was obviously really high on the Tar Heels after that game, even though we lost. But then the next day we turn around and it just wasn't good against Tennessee. And I kind of called this. I was kind of joking, or at least I was hoping I was joking. When Tennessee got blown out by Villanova the day before, I said, they're going to come back and hit shots the next day, and it's not going to be good for us. And I don't know if it was as much as them hitting shots. I mean, the first half they were 3 for 11 for the 3-point line, but second half especially they were 67% from the 3-point line, 66% overall shooting, and their little guards got, again, same problems we talked about even in the 3 wins before this. Is our defense. We couldn't keep guys out of the lane. Everybody's driving. Um, big time issue. Something that we need to definitely uh, fix quickly if we can. Rebounds against Tennessee, we got out rebounded 38-30. Uh, I mean, 8-5 on the offensive board. But for a team that has pretty much led the nation in offensive rebounds, or at least offensive rebound efficiency, the last few years, I mean, it's going to get some getting used to as us fans watching, and we got to find other ways to win. We did out rebound Purdue 37-31, but yeah, it's just not where we're going to get offense from. We got to find other ways. We got to shoot better. We got to, but again, it comes down to we have to shut down guys from getting to our lane. We have to play better defense. Even tonight against Asheville, I mean, they were in the first half. I thought they settled. We kind of got up by 20, I think, and then halftime, I think we were only up 13. As my kids were running around, so I couldn't pay as much attention as I wanted, but we were up 20. It's like, I don't need to pay as much attention. And then all of a sudden, it's halftime. We're like, why are we only up 13? And then early in the second half, they got it down to 9, I think even 7 at one point. So, we didn't put them away, but even in that first half, when we did get up to 20, it was more them missing open shots than our defense kind of making them miss or making them take bad shots. They had some open threes that they just missed. Maybe some of it was they were settling for 3 and we allowed that. And, that's probably better than them driving into the lane. But yeah, a lot of work to do on the the defensive end for us. And the guys know it. Hubert knows it. It's just a matter now of going out and fixing it. And that's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in one game. It's going to take some time and some dedication and really effort. A lot of defense is, I was talking to somebody on Twitter today about this. Defense is effort, willpower, and then after that, it's there's some that you can control. Well, obviously you control your effort, but as far as being smart, being in the right place, that stuff you have to know. The rotation that you have to know it. You have to make it on time, but you have to know where you're going. And there was, especially the Tennessee game, it looked like some guys didn't know where they were supposed to be rotating to, or they didn't know that they were supposed to be rotating. I don't know, a lot of mishaps there, and some of that tonight. There was some better tonight. I think there was some rotating, and we got some steals. Again, this is against lesser competition. UNC Asheville is not the team we're looking to beat this season. We're gonna have to beat much better teams than that. So, but it starts that way. It starts with getting that rotation, getting steals, so that against maybe a better team, you don't get the steal, but you're right there, and the guy doesn't have an open shot, doesn't have an open lane, whatever it may be. So there was some better, but there was still breakdowns tonight that we were missing. Again, I was kind of in and out, make how much I could pay attention, but there was missed blockouts. I saw guys, again, especially when they kind of went on their little run in the second half. Wasn't scared that we were going to lose, but just that they were hanging around, that they were getting it down to 9-7, to those things. It was pretty disheartening, really, that was happening against UNC Asheville on our home after we just kind of gotten dismantled. I don't know if I even mentioned it, but the Tennessee score 89-72, and it really wasn't even that close. They were ahead by more, I think, and kind of took their foot off the pedal. It just, yeah, really ugly. So not a good tournament over the weekend for us. Not a good showing. Other thing kind of has to be mentioned is turnovers. We have 14 turnovers. That even, as I read that, even seems kind of low against Purdue. Uh, again, that was a game we were more locked in. At Tennessee, we had 13. As I read that, it kind of seems like it's low. I see more, but I think it's the first half is the problem. I think I don't remember what it was. First half turnovers in the Purdue and Tennessee games, but it seems like both of those games were 8-9 turnovers, which means we only have 4 or 5 in the second half. We cleaned that up a lot better. And even tonight, I think I saw early in the game we had 5 quick turnovers. We ended up with 18 tonight against UNC Asheville. Um, Again, just stuff that has to be cleaned up, and I get it. We've talked about it plenty here on the podcast. It's been talked about everywhere else. Um, New coach. We got 3 transfers in. Our freshmen really aren't playing, so we can't say we got new freshmen in. But um, you know, practice wise, they're still in there competing and stuff. So we do have new freshmen that we're trying to get in there. Hopefully, we're trying to get them minutes. But we have new guys. New guys have or old guys have new roles. Baycott's got to step up and be more of a leader. He's producing, but I don't know that he's leading on the court. Maybe off the court he is vocally and stuff, but I think he's got to be more of a leader on the court. Caleb and RJ, really, those are our 3 captains there between Baycott, RJ, and Caleb. They got to step up and be leaders if they're going to be our captains. Take some responsibility. I heard somebody, I don't know, I don't remember where I heard it, but it was national guys, but talking about North Carolina and obviously how bad we looked, but just saying that they didn't hear us talking to each other. It didn't seem like our guys really liked each other or got along, or they said Caleb just never, doesn't talk out there as a point guard, as a defender. If he wants to be the best, he's said several times, no, he wants to be ACC Defensive Player of the Year. You got to be communicating as the point guard. You got to be communicating to guys. You got to be getting in guys' face to get them fired up, or encouraging guys when they're miss a shot or miss an assignment or whatever. That's part of leadership, and that's definitely something that's got to step up. But we got other guys in new roles. Anthony Harris getting a little bit more of a role. Obviously, the 3 transfers coming in just brand new. So I get that there's a lot that we can work from. And we know it. We all know we have the talent. Now we have to put it together, and that's again where kind of leadership comes in, and where coaching comes in. And we got a lot of time. We're 6 games in, 4-2 overall right now, so plenty of time to fix it. But we got to see some improvements. I don't know that tonight we really saw the improvement that we'd want to see when we're coming off games like that, and then we play in Asheville at home. I just feel like there should have been more urgency, and that goes back to way back, Roy for the past several seasons, talking about urgency and effort and stuff like that. So we'll see. Again, I think it was the person I was talking to on Twitter says, one thing about being a Tar Heel fan is there's never a dull moment. There's always some drama or something. It seems like we're up and down. I feel like every year as I'm podcasting, we kind of one of my titles for the podcast is the roller coaster season, or the roller coaster part of the season. We win 1 or 2, then we drop a bad one, or we lose a couple, and then we look good. We get some hope back, and just kind of going up and down with these guys. But yeah, so as we're podcasting here, Sinister Tar Heel says that he is glad they snapped the losing streak, but there's lots to work on. And yeah, that's kind of what we've been saying. And then he goes on to say, oops, I think I missed one there. I agree about being more effective on defensive. Also, got to get wins against the top 25 teams. Yeah, we can't just beat the teams we're supposed to, like Asheville. Again, we got the win, but it wasn't that impressive. It didn't look that good, and I don't know that we got the improvement or saw the improvement that we wanted to see. So we also got 300 in here, who's often in here for these live YouTube podcasts. Says we need to get better. Michigan next week, and that's kind of where I'm going next. Is we'll jump in and talk about Michigan, and then after Michigan, I don't know if you looked that far down the schedule. We also have Georgia Tech. We start ACC play right after that. So Sinister agrees with 300 there, but if you are watching here on YouTube, comment in there, leave some questions, and we'll get to those. So yeah, transitioning from this Purdue loss, like I said, everybody was pretty excited, or at least high on the Tar Heels, that they played against them so well. I don't know that we really expected to win as that game was going on. But we came back, we got that lead. It was right after that lead, though, they hit a couple of threes. They had like a 10-0 run right after we got the lead, and kind of after that, it's it was really hard for him. But and then the Tennessee game, obviously everybody was completely down on him, and I think that's kind of where we are. I don't know that the Asheville game brought us up any. That's kind of part of the problem here. So that's where we stand. And then, like I said, we do have some time off here, and I believe I saw Hubert before I went live here in his post game press conference, kind of saying he's ready to kind of get back working with the guys to improve and spending time together. And again, that's kind of what we need. It seems like we need to gel a little bit better, get back and grind and work on a lot of stuff, mostly defense. We can score. I know we only had 72 against Asheville tonight, but we scored, 84 against Purdue. We were in the 90s against Brown and Charleston, 80s against Loyola, Maryland. Tennessee game was just really bad. We still scored 72. So, I mean, we do have the firepower. We've had several guys, I said it in the last podcast, a lot of guys have been over 20 points in a game. But yeah, we can't win just by outscoring. We're not that talented. We have to play some defense. We got to get some stops. I mean, we just give up easy buckets. They score easily, and then it's hard for us to score buckets. So can't do that. But anyway, next Wednesday, December 1st. So we'll be into the month of December. Past Thanksgiving here. Hopefully, you guys get some rest again. Get some work in the gym. Michigan comes to town as part of the ACC Big Ten Challenge. That's Wednesday night, 9:15 p.m. Eastern tip for that one. That's got to be like the last game of the ACC Big Ten Challenge. Not that we ever keep track of who wins that thing. I know, again, it's been going on however long. I think the ACC won the first like 8 or something, and then the Big Ten's won like everyone since that. But we got to focus on Michigan, and I mean that's a tough one. They were top 4. They got knocked off by Seton Hall. I don't think it was a buzzer beater, but it was late. It was a close game, and then they just got knocked off again by a lot. I think who was that by? I forget who they lost to, but they lost by like 18 to somebody just the other day here. Maybe if somebody's in the chat, they can remind me. So they got something to prove as well. They were a top 5 team and they've been knocked out. I don't know where they dropped to in the poll here this week. I'm guessing they dropped at least to like 10, maybe out of the top 10. And so I'm sure they got some stuff they want to prove as well. But big guy in there. I think Baycott can neutralize him, and then after that, it's kind of up to our guards, our wings, to kind of win the game. Our transfers. We've kind of always had either Brady Manick or Dawson Garcia step up and have a good game. We've never really had both of them do it. I guess I didn't really look. I mean, tonight Baycott had 22 points, RJ 12. That's only 2 people in double figures. Leakey actually had 9. And he missed a dunk. He should have been in double figures, but Garcia 8 points, 5 rebounds, and Brady 8 points, 9 rebounds. So I mean, solid games, but not kind of what we expect or need from them coming in. So yeah, Arizona. Here we go. James is in here, and they dropped to Arizona by like 18 points. Michigan is. So Eric King is also in here. He says. This team just seems to lack physicality. That kind of goes to the different style, the new style here without the 2 bigs, but leads to poor defense for long stretches. Good news is that's the issue. It's easier fix than a lack of talent. That's true. I mean, we can fix it. I don't know that's an easy fix, but we can fix it. And then James says, team is too talented to be at this crossroads, especially this early in the season. At the same time, a break out game may be all it takes to get us rolling. I certainly hope so. I don't want to be too negative, but it's kind of hard the way we're coming off this. But quickly before we end here is after Michigan, because I don't think we're going to get a podcast in between these games. But after Michigan games Wednesday, the following Sunday, December 5th, we go to Georgia Tech, and that's a 3 p.m. Eastern tip in Atlanta, Georgia, against Georgia Tech, and that obviously starts ACC play. So we got a big game against Michigan, the top 15 team for sure, and then we turn around with our ACC opener at Georgia Tech, and we've struggled in Atlanta before. It's a team that we have more talent than. Again, we should win. We're at their place though. It's a conference game. And another thing, it's been said enough this season, but it is something to kind of at least mention is it's all these guys, our freshmen, our sophomores, and the rest of the guys too. It's been 2 years since we've played in these big crowds, going on the road. Charleston had a great crowd there, and I think it shook our guys for a little bit. That one they fought and they got the win, but it's a different atmosphere than these guys have seen. So that Georgia Tech game is going to be the next true road game that we have. I don't necessarily know that the crowd played much into it over the weekend here in the Purdue and Tennessee games, but um, I don't know that Georgia Tech gets great crowds, but again, it is at their place. It's going to be a home crowd for them. So that's what we got coming up here. I mean, Michigan is going to be a really tough one. I think we have to be happy going 1-1 here against Michigan and Georgia Tech, and obviously we want to get that ACC opener as well. We want to get that ACC win, but it would help us a lot to get that top 25. I think it was 300 said, or maybe Sinister Tar Heel said we got to get that top 25 win or win against top 25 team. So Michigan would go a long ways too if we get that win. But they're a team reeling and they're going to be hungry as well. And then right into Georgia Tech, but. Again, it's we did say it in the offseason, or at least I know I said it on one podcast in the offseason, is we're gonna have to be a little patient here with Hubert putting in his system, guys getting used to playing for him. I mean, he subs completely different than Roy Williams did. We're playing a different style than we ever did with Roy Williams. It's just a different way. So it's the way it's going to be, and we have to stick. I know there's been people with the way Cincinnati has been playing here. They had a big win against Illinois over the weekend, and people are like, oh, Wes Miller should have been the coach and whatever. Stick with real Hubert Davis. Be a fan. Cheer for your team. Don't jump off the bandwagon. Don't say anything crazy on Twitter. Don't go crazy. Just cheer for the Tar Heels. Cheer for Hubert Davis. Let's get it figured out and let's move on forward. But I think that's what I got for you guys tonight. Thank you for joining me live. If you did, James 300 Sinister on YouTube here. Thank you. I appreciate that. For people listening later, thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting the podcast. I really do appreciate it. It's what makes me keep going with the podcast. And make sure you reach out to me. Twitter, Instagram, it's all at All Tar Heel Dan. Subscribe where you're listening to make sure you get the next one in the feed. We don't have a regular schedule here, and it gets crazy here over the holidays. But other than that, everybody have a very happy, thankful Thanksgiving. And then we'll see you after the Georgia Tech game here, right back on the podcast. And until next time, go Heels.